Welcome to Human Design Powered Business. I'm Victoria Gibson, and every week I am sharing how you can harness your human design to unlock more flow, leverage, and opportunity within your business. So let's dive in. Hello and welcome to this special kickoff series of the 6 essential elements of a human design powered business. This is the second of those episodes to give you an overview on how you can create your own human design powered business where you get more fun, fulfillment, and freedom without the frustration. Live out your truth in this lifetime without compromise, showing you that you can get your business in sync with your soul purpose and prosper. So we're going to talk today about the second essential element, which is program. And when I'm talking about program, I'm talking about the program of your true nature. And in human design, you can look to the area of type in order to give you an indication of a foundation of that nature. In human design, there are 5 types, and your type is essentially a description of how you access and use energy to live your life more effortlessly. And in business, your program is taking that type and allowing you to create more results with less effort. Now, type seems to be one of the things that most people are aware of, even if they're new to human design. And I'm sure you are, if you're listening in on this podcast, you are already aware of your type. If you're not, head to victoriagibson.com and go and get your free human design type report. You can also put it in for other people in your life, because once we uncover this information, it's so compelling to find out, the people that we love and maybe don't love so much, what their type is too. We look at type in terms of that second essential element of having a program. It's working with the strategy that you're already wired for success. So rather than looking outside ourselves, looking to find the marketing strategy that's going to unlock everything for us, or wanting to follow the strategy you've seen someone else create amazing success within business, rather than that, it's coming to our own essential strategy that's wired into our type. But let's touch on these types and these descriptions, or the kind of hallmarks of the types, and how that will inform your program. So there are 5 types. There's a manifestor, a generator, manifesting generator, projector, and reflector. Now, the names can seem confusing, and, manifestor sort of feels like, is this like, are we in some outdated episode of Law of Attraction? No, like manifestor just indicates that you are here to create. And in human design, manifestation refers to that creation, making things happen. As a manifestor, you are really an absolute dynamo of wanting to act, achieve, and do. And if you are a manifestor, welcome. I am too, so I can relate. We're not overly common, but we really are here to make things happen, to express ourselves and ignite creation and our desires according to the rest of our human design. But our type is about ignition. We're a catalyst for others and ourselves. And we have more of a kind of lone wolf persona, right? In that we like to do things independently, and we can give off a bit of that kind of closed vibe. Others can think that we're quite aloof or bitchy. I know that I get that feedback quite a bit, and it's interesting because people will see you online and sometimes get a sense of who you are. And then perhaps when you meet them in person, when people are saying that you seem different. And that's happened to me a lot over the years. And I've tried to think about why that is. Like at first I thought, do I have to change my photos? Maybe I'm like look too serious or too glam or too, I don't know, something that's putting people off. But little did I know that's actually kind of wired into my nature. This is how I am programmed to be. And those who love it really love it. And those who perhaps know it's not for them, that's totally fine too. But when you're not living the truth of your program, it's very easy to fall into trying to change that. And for me, that was a lot of people pleasing or constantly searching for ways that I could take those elements of myself out of the equation, particularly in my marketing and in business. But in that, you're actually losing your authentic nature. You are losing that opportunity to differentiate yourself, which is where the value really, really lay. the program is your way. So you do have unique access as a manifestor to that drive to get those results and make things happen. And you're constantly questioning why people can't make things happen as quickly as you can. So it can create what in human design is referred to as a not self strategy, which for a manifestor is anger. That can feel quite explosive. And if it's repressed, it can hold you back with a lot more resistance. So your not self being anger, your strategy to move forward, to really work with your program is to inform. Now, that's what it's expressed as in human design. And given that as a manifestor, we don't like to be told what to do or ask permission, I would like to think of it more as checking in. Just on a, hey, just giving you a bit of an update. Like I'd be telling you the news, not to ask for permission, but more to just give you a heads up. So if we do that along the way, it can avoid a lot of problems. So say if you are working with clients as a manifestor and you might be worried about their reaction to something or perhaps their resistance to something, our tendency can be to maybe put off sharing with them or showing up to share a point of view because we're worried about their reaction. But in doing that, it actually creates a lot more success because the other energy types feel seen and they feel like they're along for the ride, and it's going to just open up a lot more, opportunity for things to go well for you. A lot less reaction and resistance, which is what you're trying to avoid in not giving people the heads up in the first place. Okay, so that's an essential part of being a manifestor and your program of being a manifestor. So let's go to the next one, which is really the generator, which is one of the most common types that would inform your program. So when you're a generator, you actually have one of the simplest designs in many ways, and that is that you are designed to respond to everything that life brings. But in business, you're designed to respond according to another one of your elements as well, but definitely wait to respond first to those things that show up in business where you might be inspired. It might be something that you read, you hear, you see, maybe just something you notice within yourself. No one has to actually express it to you, or it doesn't mean you have to wait until someone tells you what to do. It just means you need to be open to what you want to respond to. Now, it's really important to know what to respond to or to be clear in knowing you do want to, how you want to respond, right? Because as a generator, you have the ability to, keep on keeping on. And that means whatever you respond to, you're more likely to see it through to the end. So if you've made a choice in responding to something that isn't right for you and that maybe you haven't followed your design and your true nature in responding to, then it can cause a lot of frustration. This is where we see a lot of that frustration that causes more resistance and discontent in our businesses. Knowing and not following that beautiful strategy encoded within you will lead to frustration. So what's the alternative and what do we want to be following? We want to be following that response according to our authority in human design, and I will go into that in the other essential elements, but we want to be making those powerful decisions according to that first essential element of a human design powered business, which is path. Then we go to the second, which is the program. So the program will give you your own unique strategy to get you to the success as a generator, okay? I'll go into more of that as we move on in the podcast and share more of that with you as well in your free human design type report. Just know that one of the key differentiators for a generator is that they have your sacral center defined. So if you have a generator type, then you have this simple strategy, which is to respond. And what that means is that you get to follow your gut, essentially. Like you can access the energy within your lower belly that is defined, the place where you can access energy again and again and again. And you'll want to access that energy when you respond to those things that are right for you to respond to. And the more you know that, your path, the first essential element, will will inform that, but there are the other elements that come together to give you a way to make that work for you. And when you wait to respond before you engage that, being that powerhouse energy, being that lighthouse for others, people are naturally attracted to your energy. It's probably because maybe if they're not an energy type, they know that you can fulfill and make a lot of things, create a lot of things and follow them through, which is amazing. This energy within you is always available to you, and it's really waiting for you to respond with a deep down gut level yes. It's almost like audible and acoustic of an aha. And when it's not for you, as you tune into it more by asking yourself yes, no questions, by being clear about what you want to respond to and look into the other parts of your design, which we'll get into. But on a simple level, there will always be this gut level response, which in its affirmative is an absolute resounding yes, as an aha, and a no as a You will begin to feel it. And you'll even I know as a manifestor in talking to generators that often have this aha, oh yeah, like as you're talking, they will respond to that without even knowing, which is really cool. But when you don't use that response or you don't listen to it, will lead to a lot of that frustration. A lot of burnout comes from that place as well. So in business, you'll be finding that's what comes up for you, because we've all been trained to use our mind to make choices, but that is not where you want to be making your choices and your decisions in life. That is the essential tenet of human design, and we'll get into that in one of the future elements in this mini series. But for now, know that your program can be seen in your type. So perhaps you're a manifesting generator. And I love the manifesting generators because they've got a bit more of a restless energy. They are a bit of a combination of a manifestor and a generator together, in that they can ignite more quickly and they'll pivot more often as well. But that can also be more problematic because they can move more quickly. They might take the chance to move quicker than perhaps they need to if they're not listening to the right authority. You're still an energy type. You have that gut response where you do need to follow that same strategy of waiting to respond, and you have those same self themes and not self themes of moving to success and away from frustration. Okay, have that sort of two-step process to finding your clarity about any choice. If you're getting that yes response, then you're being given that green light. A level of interest has been triggered, but then you need to go to your authority to then know whether you want to say yes to that green light. Because if you don't, which happens with a lot of manifesting generators, they'll see the green light and just hit the accelerator. That can be a bit of a path to disaster and a lot of dissatisfaction, frustration, and burnout. Okay. So while you've got all that energy to keep going, you want to be very clear in what you respond to and the direction. And you can definitely talk to the first element of path in our essential elements that we're going through in this kickoff phase. Then we come to projector. So if you are a projector, bless you. I have a daughter who is a projector, an emotional projector. I also have a partner who is an emotional projector. And I've had to really dive deep into my understanding of projectors and how they are programmed and how their nature shows up, particularly for me in life, in that I'm living with one, but also in business and in my opportunity to coach. And with my strategy of igniting others and catalyzing action, the projectors are a bit of a unique one in order to look at in relation to my own energy, but in order to look at their journey in business, because they don't have that generative energy, that sacral force, life energy, and access to that. They also live in an environment where recognition and invitation is everything. So whereas a manifestor doesn't have the sacral generative energy, they don't seek the same need for invitation. They can just get up and go and move and ignite and catalyze. Yet as a projector, you're needing to wait for that invitation firstly as the right strategy. Recognition will definitely give you that sense of success and help move move you along in business. Okay. So an invitation can be direct or indirect. It's more of a sense of being called into something. And yes, that can be expressed, like that's how I mainly try and communicate with projectors. Sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. I do try and really embrace a lot of that recognition and invitation. But as a projector, only you will be able to tell if that invitation resonates specifically with you. And then you can go to your authority to make the decision. And wanting that recognition can push you into wanting to start new things and do things in order to get that recognition. But you really need to be certain that you are being invited into it and that invitation is correct for you. Then if you have a reflector life chart, I've been lucky enough to have a few friends as reflectors, and there's such a gift in this world. You're really just completely receptive. You are so open to the forces of energy that surround you. But one of the difficulties of that, particularly in business, is that you may not know what is for you because you're constantly reflecting out other people's energies, desires, motivations, and programs. So you do need to take the time to know what is within you, what is for you, and wait to make decisions. You're not going to be as quick to make decisions because sometimes it's uncertain about what is for you and what isn't. And you can be sensitive to others' energy, and it can really take you off course, particularly in business, and particularly calling in people for you, the right kind of clients, the right kind of offers, and understanding how you can work with your very unique and beautiful energy. So know that you're a rare diamond and it requires some navigation. And that's what this journey is all about, particularly in business. So I will leave you with that for program and wrap up. These are supposed to be quick overviews and then I, get into all the detail, but I really want you to think about your type and that innate strategy within you and how perhaps that has been showing up for you in business, how that you've been using that to work to your advantage, or maybe where perhaps that has been blocking you somewhat. And then we'll get ready to dive into the third essential element of a human design powered business in this special takeoff series. I'll see you there. Thanks for joining me on this episode. If you want to dive deeper and get the practical path to leverage your human design and turn energy blocks into business breakthroughs, then you're going to want to see my latest class. Make sure you head to victoriagibson.com and click on the Watch the Class tab, and you can uncover more about what is encoded within your energetic blueprint and how you can harness it for unlimited success and to step into your true potential. I cannot wait to see you over there.